everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown. Welcome back. Happy Leo season. You know this is our time. This are the besties. I butchered the words already, but Leos, this is our time. And not just Leo suns. We got Leo suns, moons, and risings. This is a big time of year for us. I feel like I'm honoring Leo season by having a really good hair day, which is exciting. Seriously, getting my hair cut and colored last week was a religious experience. I needed it so bad just to feel like a person. Anyways, happy Leo season. I hope y'all are having a great week so far. Just in honor of this podcast episode, I have right here a very crispy, listen to that ASMR, a very crispy, fresh Diet Coke. And we're going to do this. Oh, popping that shit on air because I'm in a fun, festive, flirty mood as Leo season demands of me / us. And a Diet Coke felt like the proper move. Okay, so today's episode is going to be 10 things I learned / am learning by 35 because my birthday is on Sunday. This is my birthday episode. My birthday is July 26th, and I'm super excited for this weekend. I have some fun things planned. I have one of my childhood besties coming to town from San Francisco. Super excited to see her. I'm doing a little get-together on Saturday, and then Sunday I'm going to go to a pool with Jake and my sister-in-law, and then Jake and I have a nice date night on Sunday. We're going to go to a French spot pretty close to our neighborhood and just like ball out and get martinis and good red wine and French food, and I'm so excited. I was kind of stressing a little bit because my looks were not coming together the way I wanted them to. Here's the thing, y'all. Something I learned about myself this year is like I hate shopping online because I get like decision paralysis. Like there's too many choices to make. And then it's like you finally make the choice. And let's say you don't have $1 million to throw around on like, I'm just going to order a bunch of things and then return it, which like I don't. So like I'll like circle the drain trying to find what I want, and then I order it and then it comes, and if it doesn't fit well, like you've got to start all over. So like I went to the mall last weekend and I was looking for something really specific because Saturday I'm doing like a daytime bar crawl thing, and I wanted to do like fun but like a little bit trashy. So I was gonna wear like a Hanes tank top with like a really fun like sequin skirt, and I found a million online, but again I didn't trust that if I ordered them it would like be okay. So I went to the mall, couldn't find it, so I pivoted last minute, and I'm wearing, get ready for this, sorry, before I tell you what I'm wearing, it is always kind of fun to go back into your own closet and get creative and be like, wait, I don't actually need something new. I just need to reimagine the things that I have. And that is kind of the beauty of having like financial constraints, is just like forcing yourself to not buy like occasion specific crap that you're only going to wear the one time and like rework what you have. So here's what I landed on. Didn't get anything new for Saturday day. I did get something new for dinner on Sunday, but we'll get there in a second. Saturday day, I'm going to wear a black like micro mini skirt that I've worn a million times, but I love, from Aritzia, and it's like so short that like the bottom of my butt cheeks kind of like boop, they kind of like peek out the bottom like intentionally. And then I'm wearing a white Hanes tank, and then a really fun brightly colored like lacy bra with my bra straps showing, and then black boots, and then big sunglasses and a fun little bag, and it's gonna be a hoot and a holler. And then Sunday for dinner with Jake, I did something really creative. I felt very much like Molly Gunn circa Uptown Girls if she like wasn't rich, like after she stops being rich. I went to Aerie, which like I know we don't like American Eagle because of, the Sydney Sweeney of it all, but sorry, like I liked what I found in that store. It was tough to find something I liked. So I found this little like pajama top that's like long enough to almost be like a tunic / dress, and it's like navy with lace on the top and the bottom. And I was like, what if I wore that over the same micro mini as like a slip dress with these super cute little cream mesh heels that I got for my rehearsal dinner / bridal shower. And then I paired that with like a fun bag, the beaded bag that my aunt made me for my wedding. And I was like, wait, this is so Carrie Bradshaw. This is so fucking cute. And I tried it on yesterday, and the look came together, and there is no better feeling. And then I was like, okay, this little navy dress, don't worry, I'll be posting pictures of everything. This little navy like pajama top / dress / slip, whatever the fuck. I was like, I can easily transition this piece into fall by pairing it with like a sweater and tights and boots, like very like Tumblr core. So that's also exciting. And this is like an unsolicited tip for y'all. I personally am trying to get away from buying occasion specific pieces because, again, like I don't really have the space in my closet or the money in my bank account to throw around on stuff that I'm only going to wear once. So I try to be like really intentional with what I buy and be like, what are like 5 different ways I could style this? Like, where else would I wear it? And I'm really excited with this little like pajama top, this navy pajama top that was $49.95, that I can think of all these other fun ways to wear it. And with this brown hair, like forget it. I'm so excited. Also, obviously, I'm getting a spray tan on Friday with my childhood bestie, Anna. We're going to go get spray tans at Sunkissed by Jenny, my favorite place. And a spray tan, like, always makes you like yourself. Like, it always makes you feel hot and amazing. So we're going to get spray tans together. And then we're going to go to Candle Delirium and each get a candle for my birthday. Anna's going to get a candle for herself for my birthday. I'm going to get a candle for myself for my birthday. And it's going to be a gorgeous weekend. So I'm really, really excited. You know, my birthday always makes me feel a little like on edge. Like I don't until I do. Like I'm excited until I go, and like probably like once a year I have a little tweaky moment where I get a little like sad. It was yesterday, but we don't have to get into it. But I think it's because I always say this, like birthdays are like a personal New Year's where you're like, oh my God, what did I do in the last year? Like, where am I at in my life? And you kind of take this like consciously or unconsciously, you kind of take this like personal inventory of like where you're at, like career wise and friend wise and relationship wise and like with your family and all these things. And getting older is just like kind of a mind fuck. So I, was feeling kind of on edge yesterday, but I am feeling excited going into the weekend. And yeah, also one of my favorite birthday traditions is every single year on or around my birthday, I watch the episode from Bethany Ever After called Fleeing from 40 when it's her 40th birthday. And she has this like big over the top birthday party that she like did not want, that has like a full on like party planner. And then Jason Hoppy gifts her with that like pink mannequin with like diamonds on it and a skinny girl apron. And his parents are like blink, blink, like staring at her. And the whole party is like blink, blink. And Bethany has like a full blown mental breakdown and then hides in the bathroom and is like, sorry if that hurt your ears. And then Jason's like, I'm alone up there. And Bethany made me look bad. I mean, it's really wild to watch the cracks in the foundation in that episode. It's crazy. But, no matter what's going on with me on any given year, watching that episode of Bethany Ever After always makes me feel better because I'm like, shit could be worse. I could be married to Jason Hoppy and I'm not. So like life is fucking good. Okay, before we get into the 10 things I learned / am learning by 35, there are some pop culture things that like we simply must touch on. Okay, Gabriette and Matty Healy got married, get this, a fortnight after Taylor and Travis. Someone on TikTok said that, and I was like, I always have to Google what a fortnight even is, but like, if true, crazy. Now, I refuse to believe, in fact, that Matty Healy like holds a candle for Taylor and that was like intentional, but the closeness of their weddings is a little bit eerie. Now, if we're going to compare Taylor's clown show versus Matty and Gabriette's wedding, Taylor and Travis's clown show, because he's responsible too. If we're going to compare that to Matty and Gabriette's wedding, I mean, Matty and Gabriette's wedding, like I literally have no notes. And it's not even like, I'm not saying that to be petty. Like I'm not saying that to be petty against Taylor. I am saying I just like loved their wedding. It was in LA. It was in the Hollywood Hills. It was so romantic and spooky. Gabriette's look is like Dangerous Liaisons meets Corpse Bride complimentary. Like I thought she looked so incredible. Like truly like a vampire princess. And I was obsessed. And like, we know Gabriette, we know she's not going to do things like super traditionally and she's going to do it her own way. And there's going to be kind of like an edginess and a darkness to it. But God, she looked beautiful. I loved their wedding. I like them together. There, I said it. Don't come for me. I'm really not in the mood. Really not in the mood. People on the internet have been trying my patience. But yeah, I liked their wedding. Also, is there any other pop culture stuff that I want to talk about? Hold on, let me check. Oh, I watched Project Hail Mary over the weekend. I know I'm very late to that, but it fucked me up in the best way. I highly recommend it. Streaming on Prime. Also, I saw The Invite in theaters last weekend with Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton. Oh my God, you guys. So, so good. Highly recommend it. It was I just love a movie that just like grips you from the beginning and you leave being like, that was fun. I didn't know where it was going to go. And it was like an adventure. I love a good movie. Now, some personal things. I have 2 nemeses this week that we need to talk about. I love how I'm like about to turn 35 and I'm about to like launch into this diatribe about like all these things I learned and I'm learning, and I'm still the same petty bitch I was when I was like 18, being like, here are my two nemesis of the week. But that's how I feel. Okay. So I told y'all how like at my gym, I work out next to someone sometimes who like takes up a lot of space. And last week I ended up next to this person again. And I've realized that this is just someone whose like whole spirit and being bothers me, like down to like the hair on their head. Like my spirit and their spirit do not agree. And on one hand, I'm like, okay, like I should admire that this person is so comfortable taking up so much space. I should like emulate that as like a chronic people pleaser and someone who like always says like, oops, sorry, when someone bumps into me. But that said, like last week I was working out next to this person and I was trying to be conscientious of like, this is my spot. I am in my spot. I'm not in anyone else's spot. And still this person moved to the other side of the room to like find an extra little like area because like they still didn't have enough room to work out. But this person picks the middle spot in class every time. And I'm like, if you need more space, why not take the end? Riddle me that. Why not take the end? Why do you put yourself in the middle and then like huff and puff the whole class because you're like you're all disgruntled because you don't have enough space? And so then I was forcing myself. I was like, okay, Hannah, you can be conscientious of being in this person's space, but like also don't move. Like don't make yourself uncomfortable. Don't shrink yourself because this person feels like they're entitled to the entire gym. But they are my nemesis. I was just like, Also, on Sunday, Jake and I made our triumphant return back to the farmer's market. I got my favorite yogurt. Don't worry, everyone. I got the key lime passion fruit flavor again. It's just the best. There was this woman with a hat, a sun hat, because of course, like LA farmer's market, protect your skin. I'm not knocking her for the hat. Her spirit also annoyed me. She had like a stroller and she just was being like super aggro with the way she was like winding around. And like a Sunday farmer's market at like 10 a.m. is a crowded place, especially in LA in the summer. And so, it's hot. And thankfully this week, thank fucking God, I was not hungover. Like, I should get a medal. I wasn't hungover at the farmer's market, but this woman kept like jutting in front of me and bumping into me and just like being really intense, like, like looking for all of her stuff. And she had this stroller, so I kept being like super like smiley and polite and stepping to the side and letting her go and like really tapping into my hospitality days where like if someone's like walking through a restaurant, you step aside and kind of like with a helpful hand guide them towards the restroom. Like that was the vibe I was giving this woman. Only for me to discover that the stroller did not have a baby in it. It was just for her produce. There was no child in it. It was just a woman being really aggressive with her produce and her produce stroller. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I can't with people. This is why people become reclusive. Like JD Salinger, I fucking get it. I bet JD Salinger went to the farmer's market and found some bitch with a floppy hat and a produce stroller and said, I've had enough. I'm hiding away and you'll never see me again. That's what he did. And that's what I'm going to do someday. Also, last week I was going to an Orange Theory class at 6 a.m., so the streets were like pretty quiet. And I was walking into the gym. I wasn't with Jake. I was by myself. And the top of my water cup, I was like holding it by the top, and the bottom just fell off and water went all over the sidewalk. And I could see this guy out of my periphery sort of like leering at me, like kind of just like hanging out. And so I dropped my cup and I go, God damn motherfucker, are you kidding me? And he goes, that's the devil playing tricks with you. And I just said, well, I'm not in the mood. And he goes, you got to rebuke it. And then I walk away, and without turning around, I go, I rebuke. And I was just thinking, as I did that, I was like, to be a woman in the world is spooky because inherently we're always in danger, right? But sometimes if you gauge the energy right, it is empowering to not act afraid and just say, I'm not in the mood. I rebuke it. Like, I came at this man with a level of like force and like, fuck off, get away from me, that I wasn't even expecting to come out of me. Like my energy just said like, do not fuck with me. And that was empowering. It's like, it's not even 6 a.m. You're hanging out on this sidewalk for whatever fucking reason. And you think you're entitled to talk to me? You're not. And just because I dropped my water cup, don't tell me that the devil's playing tricks with me. Get out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. Wow, sorry, that was negative. We're going to get into a much more positive headspace because now we're going to talk about 10 things I learned slash am learning by 35 in no particular order. Number one, you can't love or people please someone into respecting you. Okay, I spent a lot of my 20s and my early 30s trying to like white knuckle friendships, jobs, relationships from this place of like, if I'm just good enough, if I just love hard enough, if I just give them everything they want out of me, then I will earn their respect. And it doesn't work that way. And I think that there's no use in like beating myself up for it because it's like I am who I am today because of those experiences. But I will say, like, if I could go back and tell my younger self something, I would be like, don't stress about people who don't respect you because there's nothing you can do that will make them respect you. And like, also it's like, I'm not interested in having people in my life that I have to like win over. You know, like there are some people where you meet them and they immediately like don't like you until you give them a reason to like you. And then there are people who like you until you give them a reason not to. And I'm one of those where like, I'm not interested in being a show pony for anyone, especially because earning someone's respect is not a guarantee. And oftentimes those kinds of personalities just like create that, like co-create that dynamic with you so that they can like suck your energy and your life force and your time and take advantage. And so I don't know who needs to hear this, but just like whether you're struggling with like a boss or a friend or a romantic partner, like you cannot love someone so hard that they'll respect you, and you cannot people please someone so hard that they'll respect you. If they're not going to respect you, it doesn't matter what you do. And you owe it to yourself to surround yourself with people and situations that make you feel abundant and make you feel like yourself and make you feel empowered and make you feel worthy of love, because we're all worthy of love at the end of the day. I mean, maybe not like Charles Manson or like, you know, like really bad people like that, but like at the end of the day, you and me and everyone listening to this podcast is worthy of love. So don't sweat it. Don't like try and strong arm someone into respecting you. They're not fucking worth it. Keep it moving. Okay, number 2, fun does not equal instability and chaos. So when I was younger, I was so depressed, like mainly when my mom was sick and then in the years after she passed away. I was so fucking sad that I tried to like hoard fun by like cosplaying as someone who had fun, even though I was deeply sad. It's like that line that Bridget says in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants where she's like, you just want to feel good and alive because if I feel alive, then it doesn't feel like she's dead. I can't stand Blake Lively, but that line really, really hits the older I get. So like when I was in my 20s and I was really sad, I tried to hoard these experiences that I labeled as fun, like sex and going out late and binge eating. And listen, not that all those things, I mean, binge eating is like a disorder, but like not that like food and sex and going out and booze, not that all those things aren't beautiful in their own magical ways. But I think I associated fun with instability and chaos and just being like, ah! And now it's like I am really trying to appreciate that fun takes many different forms, and fun can also be very peaceful. It can be quiet. It can be by yourself. It can be with other people. And it doesn't need to look the way we were sold in movies. And I think it's really empowering when you learn to appreciate fun in all of its unique and beautiful forms, you know? Like I feel like now, I mentioned this last week, but like maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. Like now fun for me is like making dinner and listening to great music and like vibing. And in my 20s, I think fun to me was equated to this idea of like distraction and stimulation because I really did not like myself enough to sit alone with myself and my thoughts. And I think there is such beauty in finding fun in the slowness, in the peace, in the moments with ourselves, in the like cozy couch chats with our friends, the cozy couch cuddles with our pets, etc. Okay, number 3, you don't have to forgive people, but they don't deserve to have power over you as you move on with your life. This is one that I'm still disentangling, but like I have a really hard time letting things go when I feel like someone wronged me, because I think I take a lot of that on where because I struggle with people pleasing, I'm like, okay, but what did I do Like, I want to know why I was mistreated. And then I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, how could I have prevented that? Which goes back to number one. You can't love or people please someone into respecting you. But I try to take almost all of it on and be like, well, if I had just done this differently, then like things would have been different. And so forgiveness can be really hard for me. And then there's part of me that like I've done this in the past where I've like almost gaslit myself into forgiving someone, being like, I have to be the bigger person. Like I put all this pressure on myself to not only take on why things went wrong in a relationship, but also like I take on the need to forgive and to like rise above it and to like be perfect on the other side of this like fallout that I had, whether it's with like a friend or an ex-boss or whatever. So what I'm talking about with Doctor these days, one of the things we're talking about is like how like I don't need to like forgive someone. Like you don't need to be like, it's fine, I forgive you for what you did to me. You can be like, no, you fucked me over and I will never forgive you. And I'm never gonna like sit here and pretend that like I wish you well and like I hope you're doing okay. Like, no, you're dead to me. Scorched earth, baby. But also, we cannot give those people who screwed us over, who we can't forgive, the power over us to like impact how we move forward in our lives. Like if you have a friendship fallout, don't let that person be the reason you don't get close to the next person that you want to get close to. You know what I mean? Like don't give those people power over like how you see yourself, what your future looks like, what decisions you make moving forward that are good for you. Like don't let the people who screw you over shrink your world. You don't have to forgive them, but don't let them like control you and like puppeteer you even after they're gone because they don't fucking deserve that. Okay, moving on. Sorry, this is just a people-pleasing podcast. I did not realize that when I made this list. People-pleasing is not the same as being nice, okay? And this is something that unfortunately got confusing to me because of how I grew up. I was raised by my mom, love you girl, but she was a people-pleaser for sure. And I was sort of taught that like to be kind and to be nice means putting your needs on the back burner, like putting yourself and your life on hold to be there, not just for your partner, but for everyone. If anyone calls, if anyone asks you to jump, you say how high, you pick up the phone, everyone gets all your energy. And I just don't think, I'm like learning to separate those two things where it's like, people pleasing does not mean that I'm a nice person, especially because looking back on some of the friendships of mine that didn't actually work in my early 20s, and this is something I will take on, is like I think that like I did a lot of things from this place of people pleasing, and I helped create a dynamic where I was the performer. I was going to show up, I was going to do the job, I was going to do the things, I was going to make the reservation, I was going to whatever, do all the things. And I felt like I was giving and giving and giving, and I didn't feel like I was getting a lot back, okay, from some of these friendships. And that wasn't nice of me. Like it felt nice in the moment to like be performative and be like, look what a good friend I am, because that like made me feel safe. But it's like not nice to like quietly resent people in your life because you're people pleasing and they think it's normal, and meanwhile you're like dying inside. Like that's not actually nice. Like I wouldn't want someone to be friends with me or like do something nice if they secretly were like, God, I'm so fucking exhausted and I don't want to do this. You know, I wouldn't want that for any of my friends. So I think just remembering that people pleasing is not the same as being nice is an important way to like navigate things moving forward, because you know, and I know that there is an energetic difference, like a big energetic difference between my friends going through a hard time. So I'm going to like pick up a bottle of wine and like bring her some flowers and come over and we're going to order Chinese food and I'm going to be with her, versus this girl really wants to be my best friend and she's going through a hard time. So she expects me to pick up flowers and a bottle of wine and come over and order Chinese food. And if I don't do that with her, then I'm a bad friend and we're going to get in a fight. So I have to do this anyway. Those are very different things. And you know in your gut who you want to be friends with, which brings me to the next one. Trust your gut with weirdos, romantic, friends, and otherwise. I would have saved myself so many hours and so much time if I didn't let my people-pleasing tendencies gaslight me into being friends with people I knew I didn't want to be close to. And I know that that can sound harsh and that can sound mean, but I don't think it is. I really think, and for me this like especially applies to friendships, I really think we need to think of friendships more in terms of like how we do with dating, where it's like if you were to go on a date with someone and you didn't feel a spark, you wouldn't like get married to them. You wouldn't date them. You would be like, okay, well, that was fun. See you later. And I think I'm speaking as a cis woman. I think with cis women, sometimes we feel like, oh, this is another woman, and therefore, like, I need to like foster this like sisterhood, even if it's completely inorganic. And I just think that's like such an unfair amount of pressure to put on ourselves, where it's like, we deserve friendships that give us life and, make us giggle and make us feel like our best selves, versus friendships where we feel drained or we feel bad about ourselves every time we like leave a hang. Like, that's not a friendship. You're just like you're both like avatars for friends, but the emotional connection isn't really there. And just because someone wants you to be their friend or they expect you to be their friend doesn't mean that you owe them that. Like, you don't owe them that place in their life, because if you don't want to if you don't want to fill that role in their life, you're allowed to walk away. And the other thing too, that was hard for me when I was figuring all that out, and still is like, they might get mad at you when you walk away. They might run their mouth and be like, wow, she's such a bitch. I was such a good friend to her and she just ghosted me. Okay, that's showbiz. But like, the thing is like, I would rather someone do that than waste my precious time on this beautiful earth when I have so many good friends in my life, faking my way through friendships that I feel obligated to participate in that I don't actually want to participate in. So like, trust your gut. You can hang out with someone one time, and if you walk away being like, oh my God, I'm so drained. Oh my God, I don't like that thing they said. Oh my God, I feel weird. If you get a text message from someone and your heart goes, oh fuck, your instinct is to panic, or you get a long voice memo and you roll your eyes and you're like, fuck, I don't want to listen to this. That is all data that tells you to trust your gut and stay away. And I know the word weirdo seems a little mean, where it's like, trust your gut with weirdos, but like, I've come face to face with many a weirdo that like wants me to be their best friend, and I just am not going to do it anymore. And you shouldn't either, okay? Because our time is precious and life is short. Next, your color season really is that serious. Okay, I look at pictures from 3 years ago and I'm floored by how many years I wasted wearing colors that just did nothing for me. And now that I know that my color season is soft autumn, it has informed everything from the makeup I put on my face, to the hair dye I put on my head, to the clothes that I wear, to the shade of self-tanner I use. I mean, it is a game changer. And I think in a world where we feel all this pressure to like get Botox and get our lips done and do this laser and this body peel and all this bullshit, something as simple as knowing what colors look good on you will change the entire game. It will elevate all your looks. You will feel so much better when you lock in on what your color season is and then like dress and style yourself accordingly. I promise you, if you are balling on a budget, don't tell anyone. You could put your picture in a ChatGPT or Claude. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. What I would advise is to find a professional near you who's going to do like the color swatches, because then you can really get into the nitty gritty with them about like what to wear, and they'll give you a whole guide and everything. But learning your color season is absolutely worth it. Okay, next, don't fear Botox, but do your research. I love how in the last one I was like, and everyone does Botox. I do Botox, okay? And I love Botox. I go long periods of time without it because it's expensive, and skincare helps me maximize my results between appointments, but don't fear Botox. Now, the first time I went was a referral, and it was a referral from someone who looked very done, like that's how they wanted to look. And that's something you encounter, I would argue everywhere, but probably more in LA, maybe more in LA. And like, if I were to guess, like LA, Texas, Miami, maybe. This person really liked looking done and like snatched. So they recommended me to this Botox person. And the first time I went, I like could not move my face. And my forehead looked like an ice skating rink. Like, it was slick. It was crazy. And I like couldn't make face expressions, and it really freaked me out because like I felt like I was like mummified in my own skin because I have such an expressive face. It was kind of weird. And also as an actor, it's like I have to be able to move my face. So I love Botox, but get a referral. Like, I think word of mouth is the best. Find a friend whose skin you love and be like, you look great. Do you get Botox? If they're cool, they'll be like, yes, go to Dr. So-and-so. We also need to like normalize, this is a quick tangent. We need to normalize being honest about like what we get done. Like I just think this idea that like everyone's just a natural beauty is like it's so much bullshit, and it's such unfair pressure to put on ourselves and on other women, where it's like, this hair color, I love it. It's supposed to look natural because to me the best like work of any kind is undetectable, but like this is not my God-born hair color. My God-born hair color, is that the term, God-born? This is not my, whatever. This is not the hair color I was born with. Hair color I was born with is an ashy gray, probably more gray than brown at this point, like dishwater color. And it does nothing for me, so I get it dyed brown. Like, normalize being transparent about what we get done, because why wouldn't we all want to share this knowledge with each other so that we could all feel hotter in the ways that we want to feel hotter? So that said, Botox is great. I love it. But ask around. Don't be afraid to ask around. And also, like, I'll look on TikTok sometimes or like Instagram, be like, Botox near me. And usually, like, I'll try and find terms like Botox for actors or like natural looking Botox. And I look at their websites and I do like a ton of research. The person I go to now, Dr. Melissa Brown in Encino, shout out to Honest Dermatology. She was a referral from a friend, and she specializes in like actor Botox and like natural looking Botox, and Chelsea Handler was like a big celebrity who went to her. So like she makes me feel very safe, and I never have a skating rink forehead when I leave her place, but I feel very like snatched and glowy and pretty. So Botox is great, but do your research. Okay, next, gratitude is everything. And I want to specify not toxic positivity, but appreciating the good and acknowledging the good and what's working in your life, as opposed to focusing on the bad and what's not working. I think it's a very easy pattern to get into, especially in this age of social media where we're constantly looking at other people living life, and it gets very, very easy to compare. I think learning to ground into gratitude will change the way you see the world. And that's why I romanticize my breakfast, and that's why I put my coffee in a cute mug and get like fun creamers and syrups. And that's why when I'm on a walk and I'm not in the mood and it's hot out, I say like, oh my God, how lucky am I that I get to walk today? Like, it is that granular and serious. That's why when I drive up to a parking spot and there's money still in the meter, I tell myself, oh my God, I'm so rich today. Thank you, universe, for this money. It sounds extremely woo-woo, but it is a practice. And I'm telling you this as someone who used to be so negative, and I was stuck in a victim mindset for years. And not only was it draining on me, it was draining on the people that I loved the most. Because it's hard to hang out with someone who's like in Eeyore all the time and it's like, well, this isn't working and that isn't working and this sucks and I don't have this and that person has this and I should have that, but I don't. Meanwhile, like, there's so much beauty to be found all the time. And yes, like, there are people who are in like down bad situations. And that's why I want to specify this is not about toxic positivity and telling someone who's really in a tough spot, like, just smile and you'll get through. But it is about appreciating what you have and being present. And when you have a moment or a period in life that's really good, I'm trying to get better at like appreciating those moments while I'm in them. Like, if I'm at a great dinner with friends and we're laughing and we're having so much fun, I try to take a minute to be like, in my head or out loud, this is a really good moment and I just know I'm going to treasure this memory someday. Or like this chapter of life that I'm in with Jake, I like have been saying this a lot lately to Jake, where I'm like, I love this time. I love our life. I love where we live. I love our friends. I love our families. I'm so happy they're healthy. I love our pets. Like, I say these things all the time because the goalpost is always going to be moving in life. There's always going to be someone who has something that you want. There's always going to be someone who does something better than you. There's always going to be someone prettier than you or richer than you, whatever. But like, life is going to pass us all by if we don't learn to greatly appreciate what we have and acknowledge it. So gratitude is everything. It is something that I like am really harnessing at this point in my life. And also, life goes up and life goes down. And I think it's a lot harder to find when things are down. So I also want to acknowledge that. But I think if it becomes a practice, just like working out, if it becomes a practice, it's something that you come back to, that you always come back to, and that can ground you. So gratitude, it's the spice of life. Okay, speaking of working out, you can't hate yourself into a different body or into liking your body. So we have to work with what we've got. Now, that said, I always keep it 100 with y'all. Last week, I was so spirally after my trip, like bad, bad, bad. Darkness descended upon me. I genuinely was spiraling, and I a lot of comparing, a lot of bad stuff. And I think like the thing that once that spiral like lifts, like it's like a fog. Like once it like lifts, I can say things like, "Oh my God, like that is so fucking crazy. I am never going to look like Hailey Bieber, so let's just work with what I have." And like I think that's kind of an empowering thing to remember. I was just talking to a friend of the pod, Tess, about this. Like, yes, our bodies can change, but like more or less, they kind of are what they are. Like your bones are your bones. Your height is your height. There's like only so much we can do. So like rather than hating ourselves for not having a certain body type that like someone else was born with, we might as well just like find movement that makes us happy and like do the most with what we have. And the cool thing is like you get to decide what that looks like. It doesn't have to be emaciated. I would hope it's not, because that's not healthy for anyone. But like you could be fucking jacked if you want. You could be soft and curvy if you want. It's your fucking business. It's your fucking body. And I think when we take ownership over that and say like, I love my body for what it can do, I love it for what it is, and I'm not going to focus on what it isn't, we are able to tap into healthy habits. And by healthy, I mean like mentally and emotionally healthy habits, not just physically healthy, to become our best, most confident selves. So just remember, you can't hate yourself into a different body or into liking your body, but you are in the driver's seat, and how we think about ourselves and our bodies matters. And making that a practice is important. Oh, also, sorry, last thing about the body stuff. I do just want to know, this quick tangent, hold on, Diet Coke break. I do just want to know, riddle me this if you will, what it must feel like to be someone with both abs and pretty feet during the summer. Because I have bunions, like gnarly, okay? And I'm not proud to say that. Taryn Delaney once said on her podcast, We're Your Girls, that like God dipped her in the pretty jar and then like stopped at her feet, and like and I felt that. I was like, yeah, I get that. And I was like, when I was spirally last week, I was like, oh my God. And like, I, don't look like Alex Earl, and I have bunions, and I can't wear cute sandals, and my feet hurt. And I was like totally spiraling. And I literally Googled like celebrities who have bunions to make myself feel better. And Amal Clooney has bunions. Chrissy Teigen has bunions. Some of the hottest people in this world have bunions. So all this to say, we are who we are, in the immortal words of Kesha, and we just have to like take it and run with it. Might I get bunion surgery someday? Yes, not for cosmetic reasons, because I like actually worry about my left foot. But that's showbiz, baby. Moving on. This is the last one, number 10. Be okay with being a beginner, and don't let that frustration keep you from going for it. So I really struggle with perfectionism, and I really struggle with being bad at something, like pushing through the phase of being new at something. And it's draining to try something over and over and over, and it can feel like embarrassing and crunchy. But I was thinking about all the things I've done by 35 that I consider myself to be good at and that I'm proud of. Podcasting, writing, acting, fashion, content creation, cooking, flower arranging, all those things I was a beginner at for a while. And I hated it. Like I hated it. It sucked. But my desire to keep doing that thing outweighed my frustration. And I think once you embrace, like, it's okay to be cringe, it's okay to be new, it's okay to be a beginner, you open your world so much to so many things that you can do, and so many potential new hobbies, and so many new things to enjoy, and to like make your life juicier and sexier than it was before. And I just like would hate for me or anyone else to let the discomfort of being a beginner stop them from all the joy that's on the other side of that. You know what I mean? So be okay with being a beginner. It's okay. Also, the other thing that I try to remember is like the person you admire the most in the world was a beginner. Like I was recently reading Phoebe Berman's Gonna Lose It, Brooke Averick's new book. Oh my God, it is so good. I'm obsessed. If you like a rom-com, you need to read it. And I've loved Brooke forever. And I was reading the book and I was like, fuck, this is so good. Like I would love to write a book like this someday. God, she's such a good writer. I could never write like that. And then I saw a TikTok of hers, and like Brooke is just like such a gorgeous, humble person. And she showed all the manuscripts of what Phoebe Berman's Gonna Lose It was like before that final draft, before that like beautiful like hardcover book that she toured with. And she's like, this was the first draft. It was horrible, but that was okay. I just got it on paper. And I found that to be so inspiring because, again, she pushed past the phase of, I have this idea for this book. This is the beginning of it. And I'm just going to keep chipping away at it until it becomes this beautiful thing for everyone to enjoy. And like, that really inspired me. So I think also remember that the people you look up to the most have also been beginners before, might be beginners at something right now. And you will never know if you enjoy something, or if you're never going to give yourself the chance to get good at it if you don't try and if you don't push past that discomfort. So those are my 10 things that I have learned and I'm still learning at 35. I can't believe I'm about to be 35. That's so crazy. And I know like in the grand scheme of life, it's like really young, but it's wild to be closer to 40 than my 20s. I've been drinking legally for almost 20 years. I'm bad at math, but it's all a trip. But also, I do find that getting older is cool because I feel so much more grounded in like myself and what I like and what I don't. And I am so grateful that I'm at a point in my life where I worked through enough things to like myself and to get to meet this version of myself. So if you're at a point in your life where you're kind of going through it and you're kind of trying to figure shit out, first of all, those periods happen throughout our lives. I always say this, there's like no arrival. You don't get like a certificate where you're like a perfect human. But if you're in a space where you feel like you're a beginner or you're learning or things are just feeling crunchy, just know like keep going, stay the course, have fun, giggle, be kind, and you will get over that hump and into the next era, and it will be gorgeous and wonderful. Y'all, I'm going to leave you there because that feels like a very, I hope, inspiring place to leave you with. And next week, we'll be back with our usual programming, including Hannah's Hot Girl Corner and Grow Up. But I love you all. Thank you so, so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Seriously, like this podcast has grown so much this year, and I am heading into 35, seriously feeling so much love from you guys and all the people in my life. So I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, feel free to share it with a friend, share it on Instagram, leave me a comment on YouTube, leave the podcast a rating and a review. Honestly, you know what? If you want to give me a birthday gift, please leave the podcast a rating and a review, but only if it's nice. If it's not, it's okay. Just stop listening. Okay, I think that's all for me. I love y'all so much. Happy Leo season, and I'll see you soon. Bye.